Hi there, in this screencast I'm going to show you how to make a game state variable which controls the flow of a game so that there are different phases of the game, so that different things are shown at different phases, text, different graphics, and the game is sensitive to different key presses or controller input at different times of the game. So the key to doing this is to make a string variable that you call game state. So I'm going to say up where I defined all my variables, I'm going to say string excuse me, game state. And then down where in the initialize method, I'm going to give it an game state an initial value of running, or no, startup. Okay, so now my strategy is I divide up both the update method and the draw method. I turn them into one giant if statement so that and the condition is what is the state of that game state variable. So when I have it set to startup, I don't let the user move the sprite. I just, give instructions on how, press S to start. When the game's running, I let the user move the sprite around. I check for collisions, anything that is going to go on when a game is actually in its running state. And then when the game is finished, whatever happened, the sprite died, reached a goal, I change that game state to finished, and then I add text telling the user how to restart the game. So let me first do that. So I'm going to go to the update method, and I'm going to say right under the if statement that checks to see if the user wants to just exit altogether, I'm going to say if game state equals startup, and now I'm going to turn everything that I have right now, which is essentially everything that I want when the game is running, I'm going to turn that into a giant if statement. Oh, and I'm going to also comment out my scrolling background right now because that's a little distracting and I don't really need that anymore. Okay, so now I have to add an else. So, oops, I'm sorry. The stuff I want already have is when the game state is running. So, I don't have the code yet for what I want to have happen when the game state is in startup mode. So I'm just going to leave that blank. And then now I say else if game state equals finished, then I do all of the code that I already have. Let's see, is my indentation correct? Yes. All right, and then I add one more thing, else if game state equals finished. Okay, a few points here. If you want to avoid duplication of code, code that needs to happen no matter what the state of the game is should be put outside of the if statement. Otherwise, you would have to duplicate it in both the startup, finished, and actually, why did I put finished? This is running. And then down here is going to be finished. Okay, there we go. All right. So now let me do the same thing for the draw method. So I'm going to put spritebatch.begin outside of my big if statement because I always am going to need to draw something. All right, so I'm going to make my big if statement. So I'm going to say if game state equals startup, then I'm going to say else if game state equals finish or running, then do all of what I already have. Okay, and then else if game state equals finished, then do all this other stuff. All right, so if I go back this, I can see one thing. I'm always going to want to draw the background textures no matter what. So I'm going to move that outside of the if statement, and after spritebatch.begin, that's going to be the first thing that I'm going to draw. Okay, so now let me show you how you can make different things happen when your game is in startup, running, or finished mode. So let me see. I'm going to say, okay, what do I have happen when the game is in startup? I need to check to see if the user has pressed a specific key to start the game. So I can say if keyboard now is key down, keys dot s, or, and you know what, it would probably be better for me to do this because it's going to be similar to it's going to go right here. So instead of keys.escape, I'm going to say keys.s, and then this needs to be an if statement, and then I think it's the start button. Okay, so if either, let's see, and why is it, oh. So then I say game state equals running. So basically, at some point in the section where the game state is startup, I need to do something that's going to change the game state so that the next time through it's in the different mode and looks for the different key presses, etc. So this is what you might do in the update method to move from a startup to a running, look for the key presses or the controller button presses of start. Now, how might this affect the draw method? Okay, so in the draw method, okay, I might, when the game is in startup mode, I might draw a message like press S to start. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy the message that I already have, and I'm going to put that in the startup section. So I'm going to draw, but instead of drawing monster heading, I'm going to say press S or start, to begin. That's going to be my message on the screen. Oops, what did I just do? Okay, so now let's see if this works. Okay, what do I have? What is my error message up here? Let's see, is key down? Let me see, do I have one too many? All right, nope. Okay, oh, I shouldn't have that one. And then, let's see. Okay, there we go. Okay, so let me run it. Now you'll notice my guy is not drawn when the game's starting up because it's in startup mode where there are no instructions to draw the sprite. So when I press S, the game should go into running mode, and sure enough, my sprite appears, and then I can do whatever I want to do with my sprite or my game. All right, so that's how our games are going to be controlled. The phases of our game are going to be controlled from here on out. So when you write a game, you should always make a game state variable as of now. All right, hope that was helpful. Cheers.